this is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today I am showing you the pattern that I doubled, which is pattern number 231 on friendshipbracelets.net. It's so the pattern itself was like basically the tiniest of little arrowheads, but it somehow changes it when we doubled it because it makes it so that the middle between the two, instead of having a single dot, it ends up with like 4, which kind of threw me a little bit when I was, getting started. It's one of those patterns of that once you kind of get going, it's fine. You don't have to look at the pattern. That's really nice and easy and semi-straightforward. It just kind of threw me a little bit because most arrowheads don't have the 4 knots of one color all grouped together. You'll see it here in a second. It'll be the light colored one that does it. But yeah, it's really cute. It's a fun little, I have the bracelet in my hand. It's a really cute little bracelet. It does increase the difficulty a bit if you do what I did where I flipped it halfway through. That's kind of a thing. So yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it would be still a cute bracelet if you just continued the same pattern all the way down. That would be a possibility as well. I don't know. But yeah, I tried to make it as easy as possible. We were just going to take simple patterns and double them. That's the plan for the whole month, to be honest. If you're into trying to double patterns, this month is going to be something I think you'll enjoy. Especially since I'm really trying to make them as easy as possible. Mind you, this might be a little bit more difficult than, say, a regular arrowhead bracelet. It's just smaller increments of the colors, different how it comes together, that kind of thing. For me, an arrowhead is something I do if I'm bored and I just have some string and I'm, which happens at times, like if I've been on like vacations and I have to pull out string, it helps me with things like anxiety. So I do bring string along, even if it's meant to be a work-free vacation, I still do it. So yeah, that's a little bit of get to know your AWOL here. Yeah, but it's a really, like I said, it's a really cute little pattern. I really hope you guys like it. I think it's really kind of cute. Yeah, I used way different colors than what was in the pattern, but that's typical me. I think that's kind of something you ought to try, is to look at what you have and try to, envision what you can do, as opposed to seeing a pattern and then just going and copying it exactly. I don't know. Tell me what your thoughts are on this. Honestly, I'm really kind of curious because I really just go with whatever I feel at that particular moment of that day when I'm gonna go cut up some strings to make a bracelet. I just do that. I actually have a few like bracelet startings or whatever. Back before getting organized, I pulled out string to have Mandy make it into a kumi because I was all yep, I'm gonna make a thing. And then for whatever reason, I didn't get to it fast enough, and so I lost track of what the pattern was for. So we might have some bracelets at some point that I just have to come up with something for the colors that are chosen. I don't know what, like, do we have more of one color than another? Was that because I was going to try something special? I don't know. Of course, push comes to shove, I can always do like an arrowhead or turn it into just like a zigzag kind of pattern, because you can do that with like anything, stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with those. So I'm looking forward to. You can see I did experiment a lot of different ways of trying to segment knot this. I'm not sure that I actually found a method that was like really great for it. Typically speaking, I like working from the right hand side to the left hand side. So this, where it's kind of already has the left hand side built out, is sort of not my favorite way of doing it. And I have no idea why I lean so hard to doing it, you know, that direction. I don't know, but yeah, it all works out here in the end. And I did kind of follow along with the pattern only because of, like I said, it switches up in the middle, which again, you don't have to do that. You could just run the whole pattern straight down. It doesn't matter. But I thought it'd be kind of interesting, make it kind of fun. It does make, I don't know if you can see the bracelet that well. It does make it so that way there's a certain noticeable symmetry to the whole thing. Like the whole center part, you can even see, even with it the way it is, right? You can see that the center is like darker, and then you have this light fade, and then, so yeah, there is something to be said about it. I don't know if like a person, like a lot of times like the people who buy this are like tourists or whatever, and sometimes it goes on just the impulse of buying it. And I think that sometimes it can be because there's a detail like having the center doing something a little bit different and pattern changing directions and stuff that catches the eye. They may not know how it was done or why it was done, but they can tell that there's something about it that makes it interesting. That's the way I always thought of it, and that's how I positioned it. And then if somebody gets talking and says, well, what's so special about this? I can say, well, you know, it is kind of special because right in the very middle of it, if you count it out, either way, right in the middle of it, it changes its direction and it gives us this interesting alternative pattern in the middle, which is special. And sometimes that's all it takes to sell a bracelet is, you know, oh, well, you've convinced me that this is in fact something interesting and I can share that story when other people ask me about it, that kind of stuff. Not everybody's like that, but I've sold enough bracelets in person to people once they recognize that there was something more interesting than just a bunch of knots. So there you go, little something that may help you down the line. Okay, so this is the middle of it here. So I want to thank my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube members for making this stuff possible. Buying the string and doing all this stuff, it adds up. And yeah, I really do appreciate the contributions these guys have made for me. So yeah, thank you guys. And okay, kinda, it switched my camera. I don't know how that happened, but okay. So yeah, halfway area. It comes along. I can't remember how long it took. Normally, when I'm putting together the video of me putting it together, I add up the minutes. I'm gonna say it took right around an hour, maybe just slightly more than an hour. Typically, a 12-string bracelet is about that for me. The more difficult they are, obviously, the longer it takes. I don't think that this was so difficult that it took me much longer. Also, I think this is one of those rare cases of where once I got to the middle, I realized that I liked the first half better. Usually we get to the middle and then I go the other direction and then like I might like it more. But this one, it seemed like I liked it going the other direction better. And that's just a personal preference, to be honest. Experiment, try, find out which ones you like, see which ones can go faster for you, because that's obviously a thing. But yeah. What else can I tell you? There's a lot of directional changes, like, you know, knots that start off to the left and then change to go to the right. There's a lot of that in this one. So if that's not your forte yet, because maybe you're a beginner, I know that I say this is like an easier pattern, but in my mind, the easiest are the ones that just like a chevron, where it just has the 2 different knots. And then it starts to get more difficult when we start adding in the 3rd and the 4th knot, the ones that actually change direction. So if you're not comfortable with those, this is maybe not for you. But this would probably be like if you were just trying to get into it and you're trying to figure out how to get it going, this would be a good one for you. You can kind of see the bracelet is kind of getting a little turn, like it's going off to the right a little bit. And then boom, I just give it a yank, pull it over to the side, and keep going and try to keep it straight. Part of that curve is, yeah, I'm working too far away from the clip because I'm trying to show you the pattern and show you where we are on it. But just if you notice it starting to get off course, make that adjustment, pull it around, and go at it again, and it should just straighten out for you. You don't need fancy knots at the sides or anything else weird. It's just working on it and being consistent and trying to keep it straight as you're going. If you let it go onto a curve, it'll do that, and every knot that you add while it's curved is helping to make it stay that way. So make these little adjustments as you go and it'll turn out great. So I'm not sure how much is left. We got like a couple minutes. So yeah, hopefully that helps. I sincerely want to help you guys to become better bracelet makers. So yeah, yeah, that's it. That's my whole goal. Is there more to that? No, I just really want to see you guys succeed at making bracelets. Once upon a time, there were bracelets everywhere. Everywhere I went, I saw people with it. Recently, while I was out, though, I saw an American wearing a really, really pretty bracelet. It was really awesome. I was really tempted in asking if it was something she made or something that she bought. But then I realized that old creepy dude asking about a bracelet might come off being weird, and it might freak her out because, you know, total strangers just wasn't appropriate. So yeah, I didn't ask. I was curious. I was really curious. It was a good looking bracelet. A lot of light blues and stuff kind of in a straight row. It was neat. So trying to think. I haven't gotten started on the next pattern yet, so I don't know what's coming up. But yeah, the whole idea here is we're just going to try to double things as easily as possible. Last time I was doubling it, I spent a month trying to make it as complicated as possible. Like, what kind of weirdness can we do to a pattern just to make it obscure? And I realized that not everybody here is looking to try to be the most obscure, the most insane thing. So my intention this month is to make it easy, make it fun for you guys. So yeah, hopefully you guys appreciate that. I sincerely want to kind of do both. I want to do nice, difficult patterns that are, challenge you, and then some easy ones that, make you guys happy. So, all right, thanks for watching, and as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.